Mm, let's see. I don't know why, but the audio is not working. There it is. It's working now. I think it's working now. Is it audio working now? Oh. Mm, let's see. I don't know why, but the audio is not working. There it is.
Okay, yeah,
It's
okay.
working now. I think it's working now.
I don't know why it's so much delay. Uh, so I thought of, hi, look, what's up? All right, good, good, good. Yeah, there's some delay. Hey, Kenneth, how are you? Let's see. Good to know. K-pop, hi, K-pop. Hey, look. Oh, let me go ahead and what is it? Copy link. Control V. Okay, today I was going to do something different today. Uh, if it doesn't take too long, you're welcome to anybody. Welcome to come up. What I was going to do was just to have my mind processing my walk and talk video. I haven't done that in I don't know so long. I mean, I've done one, I think, but it's not very long one. Um, so I thought about maybe going over that process on live stream like this, so that I could put it back into my head what I am doing. Um, then I'm gonna work on rest of the my comic book. I'm gonna work on the background, and let's see. Okay, so anyway, so here's a here's a so what on my walk and talk video, I talk about these two comic books where I talk about two stories in this book. Uh, one is called The Judgment Day, and I thought this was the original comic book that had Judgment Day. It might be reprint, I'm not sure, but um, someone says issue 20 Weird Fantasy is the one that did the Judgment Day by Joe Orlando, but I don't know for sure. So so this is a book is I just recently got it. It's like a let's look at it. It's like a 1.8. It's falling apart. The cover is coming off. Uh, I mean, I definitely bought this so that I could work on it later on. You know, but I love books from this era, and this is a book about this book because I want to be able to actually read the books that are in these original comic books. So uh, the the book that I wanted to talk about is this Judgment Day book. Where is it? I mean, the story Judgment Day. A lot of good story in here, but one I really like is the Judgment Day and the Harvest. Yeah, I found the Harvest already. The Harvest, interesting book. I should have like a sticky note or something. Maybe I missed it again. There it is. There it is. Judgment Day. Now, I thought it was interesting. So I was watching a YouTube video, and he was one of the comic book creator, and he played a clip from Bill Maher, the arrogant guy, the comedian, talk show host, and he made fun of comic book readers right after Stanley passed away, about 8 years ago. And people got upset with him because he made fun of comic book readers. And um, right after Stanley died, and then people got upset with him. How could you how could you be making fun of Stanley when he passed away, and you're making fun of his fan? And that guy is such arrogant ass. He goes, comic books are for kids, you know. It's not a literature. It's not man. Comic book is its own medium. It doesn't have to be the novel. I encourage people reading novels, short stories, poem, you know, and comic book is one of those forms, medium that tells stories, tells philosophy that you know people they express themselves with the images and words and stories. So I saw that, and then and things going around right now with all the AI talk and you know and all these nasty things that's going on around us, and 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 how artificial everything is becoming, you know. And I want to demonstrate to those people who thinks that comic books are just for kids. I wanted to show that no, there are deep philosophy, deep storytelling. There are uh, there are things that are relevant. These stories that's been told 50 years ago, 100 years ago, they are relevant now. And I wanted to demonstrate how relevant it is. And these stories, yeah, maybe we read it during kids, but it is still adult relevant. And it is Bill Maher who needs to grow up. You know, his arrogance, his arrogance will not allow him to grow up. It's his arrogance. He don't know, and everything that the things that he believes in are artificial. You know, things people believe in nowadays. A lot of it are artificial. Entertainers, artificial. Politician, artificial. You know, now people with the power, they have artificial power. They have wealth. Wealth is artificial. It's all artificial. I mean, tell me how you're gonna become a rich owning a bitcoins. Yeah, if you have a blackout, you are no longer Bitcoin rich. Okay, I mean, what EMP burst. I don't know if you guys know what EMP is. EMP is an electromagnetic pulse. Um, one EMP blast. How does it, oh, by the way, how does the EMP happen? It happens by a nuclear blast. Okay, and it doesn't have to. Nuke doesn't have to hit the. It doesn't have to land. It could be above atmosphere and causes electromagnetic pulse. Will burn out most of the grid electricities, electricals, computers, your cars, airplanes that deal with electronic. If it's not protected, they will fall off the sky. Your car will stall. Your computers will burn out. Um, uh, Immediately, those things that we call monetary will be gone. It's that fragile, you know. The idea that we're going to have artificial intelligence on our computers. You see how fragile those are? You unplug and they're gone. You know. So those are the things I want to talk about. Anyway, let me see if I could talk about. Let me go ahead and read this thing here. Judgment Day. Oh, before I let me hold on. Let me see if yeah, hold on. Okay, yeah. Judgment Day. So basically, it's about this planet. Is this is way in the future. Uh, who wrote this? Feldman wrote this, I believe. Al Feldman. Al Feldman wrote this. Judgment Day. Al Feldstein wrote it and scripted, and Joe Orlando provide the art. William M. Gaines also told the story too. So there's two authors there. Okay. So the story starts with this basically inspector. Oh, welcome, Earthman over Cybernia to the welcome to the Cybernia. Okay, the to the planet of the mechanical life. So these are all robots, and this humanoid came over to inspect this machine world. There's nothing but machines in this world, right? So he's inspecting, and there's this basically ambassador to their planet. You know, you are Tartan from Earth. You are representative of our original creators. So he's giving all due respect because they are the creator of these robots, and he's showing the how they are progressing, and they are ready to join the federation. Hey, Brian, how are you? So they show the assembly line, construction line, everything is running, you know, hunky dory. Looks like they're creating a new robots here, basically giving a bolt room. They're being educated. I mean, and so so this town is called Blue Town. Blue Town. So the blue robots. Well, you'll have to go over to Blue Town. Okay, so these guys are yellow robots, right? Uh, yeah. So these okay. Well, I don't see the color on this. That's why I guess that's why I need this book because there's no color. Let me hold on. Let me see if I don't want to open this up, but I have to show the color now because this book is falling apart, guys. That's okay. Ah, yes, they're yellow. They're yellow robots. C3PO look like they're C3PO ancestors. So and so the inspector is wondering, hey, what happened to all the blue robots? And blue, yo, you have to go to Blue Town. You're in Yellow Town, right? And it was very. I guess inspector was really impressed how everything was working by the clock. Everything was well equipped, and everything was well oiled and running smoothly. When they create new robots, they get educated and then they get in placement to a higher education and get a good job and all that good stuff. But they're at the bus stop here and now they're heading toward the Blue Town, right? And so they go to this Blue Town and inspector sees that not everything is working right. You know, they're not they're not getting finance for all the education, not like the yellow one. They are. It's like a ghetto in you could compare to suburb and ghetto, right? And there's a distinct class between a blue and yellow robots. So after seeing that, the inspector was pretty impressed with the yellow town, but not so much with the blue town. And he wasn't impressed because not because the there was a two diff not because blue town by itself was a failing the test, but yellow town wasn't. There was a the class line between yellow and blue. They didn't know how to get rid of it. Obviously, now look at this. At the end, you find out that this guy, this spaceman, he turns out to be a black man, right? And in in this future, human beings have overcome the class line, the racial line, uh, but these artificial beings was not able to overcome it, and that's why he was disappointed in this robot race because clearly the yellow, the separation of yellow and blue town was all artificial. It wasn't real. The you know you know what's so I mean it's a fantastic story, right? And ironically, this story was censored by the comical people back then. Comical people. It didn't make it because the story was too controversial at the time. A black man making it to the future, a successful black man being an inspector for the whole race of planets, robot planets it may be, but being I mean, like treated like a creator, you know, by these people. I mean, that kind of idea, I guess, upset the comic code people. I mean, we can have that kind of You know, you know, you know what they were upset about? They were upset about this man, this particular frame showing the man showing his that he is a black and showing that he is a human being who sweats the sweating the star, the light reflecting on his face. That was so was a that's the what did make the comic code. And comic code people said you cannot publish this. You're not going to make the comic code if you don't get rid of that. And they had to fight and fight. Eventually, these guys say, "F you, we're going to go ahead and publish it anyway." And they published it, and this book got canceled after that. But n- so yeah, these comic books are for written by. I mean, these are for kids, and you know, oh, these books are too what controversial for kids, and don't we not get that right now? You see how the history repeats, and you see how the the upper class or lower class is all artificial. It's all just like these artificial human beings. It's all artificial. There was no need for lower class and upper class, but we decided to have upper class and lower class. So I mean, I think I need to take that down that way. It might is there like a kind of anyway? I could edit this out. Anyway, the so these are the things I wanted to talk about during my walk. How um, class, you know, is a artificial. The difference between black, white, yellow people, red people, the difference uh, is artificial. There's no difference. I mean, one race is not superior to another. I mean, we are all built the same. So all this is artificially there. But we decide that we need this class divide, wealthy, powerful, famous. All these are artificial things. It, it's artificial line we put in. And so that's what I wanted to show. Let me show you. Let me share this harvest. Harvest. This is also written by Feldstein. William M. Gaines story. Alf Feldstein. Script by Alf Feldstein and Joe Orlando is the artist. So this robot is working on a farm. He's producing a crop, and he's wondering why are we doing this every year? You know, after snow, after spring they seed, summer they water it, and you know this robot is why are we every year we're doing this? Who we're doing this for? This robot is wondering, right? And his curiosity got best of him, and he started figuring out. He hear rumors that the creators, is the one who programmed them to do this, right? But he just don't know why he's doing this. Well, he did some little detective work and discover he wanted to discover. And what that one day I discovered why. I've been working the North Field near the Rock Mountain beside the ancient ruins. Something gleaming, something shining, something down deep in the rubble glinted in the sun. I walked to it, and he uncovers something. He uncovered old place, and there was a he he uncovered these pods with these humanoids in the pods sleeping. They are people who are sleeping. So this, and he accidentally snipped on the lifeline of this one humanoid, and he died immediately. These capsule holded these people who survived some kind of holocaust, and they are waiting for planet to come back to yield a crop again. And well, one of them automatically came to life because whenever he entered the cave, he triggered the automation button that allowed these scientists to come to life, and goes, "You fool! You killed them!" So of course, look at him. What kind of person this person reminds you of? So he's realizing, oh, look like a replacement model. So now, well, so he thought maybe he woke up too early, but he see that the replacement model, this robot has been replaced and replaced. So that he's, hey, maybe we have a overcome. I mean, maybe the crop is now yielding a good crop and not poisonous things that radiation that killed it. It's good. So he's happy now. He found the, I guess, so he's looking at the he's eating it, of course. Okay, when he reached for the pluck the ripe tomato, and he went to the tomato field and looked at the tomato, and he's biting on it, and he ate it. And this robot was like, "No, no, no, that that tomato is not ripe yet. I mean, it's not time for harvest yet. You are killing that tomato out of turn." And so the robot attacks the man. Robot is finding out that it's these humanoids are the one who's gonna ruin his garden. The garden that he works every year on, the garden that these robots were always working on every year and out. Watering, harvesting, in due time. Never out of turn. These crops were growing. That's their purpose, is to raise these crops, and they have to go through the right amount of time. You couldn't just, you know, just pluck it out and eat it. That's that was unthinkable for this robot. You know, he didn't realize this food that was growing was for human being. But AI doesn't know that. All he's been through is building these things so that it is for the crops, not for humans. And he decided, no, 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 the human is the one who needs to be destroyed because they are the bug. The crop is the one that he needs to protect. It's the The harvest is the one he has to protect. And he goes, "What? Why you? What the? Why? You love these plants, don't you?" I did not want to crush his head again against the soil with my metal fist until his eye lens bulged and his face casting tore and red Rubicon oozed from the opening. And then go back to the chamber to capsules and clip all the wires and watch as the man thing turns sickly green and were killed. So each year at this time, I stand and I gaze out over my fields at the swaying wheat, growing food, the full green vegetables, and that feeling returns. The man thing that I killed said, "I love these plants. I wonder, what is love?" It doesn't. Yeah. So I thought that was a truly. What is the? You see how this machine did not know what love is. This machine did not know why these things were grown. The motivation for this machine is different than ours, right? They were programmed to grow these tomatoes, wheats, they weren't programmed to protect human being. Their whole purpose was to grow these fruits. It wasn't, you know. And so I'm wondering, the AI that we are developing, will they really know our motivation, or will they have their own motivation? Who will control these AIs when they take over? What is their motivation? Are you sure their motivation will align with ours? What makes you think that their motivation will align with ours? These comic books were created back in 1950s about AI, artificial intelligence. What makes you think that this won't happen to us? Why is building an AI so important for us? Who's it for? Why do we need those artificial things? You know, scarcity is artificial. Scarcity is artificial. Remember Great Depression? Great Depression. Great Depression happened not because we were food was scarce. Great Depression happened because we had too much. How it started was World War One. In World War One, farmers. I'm telling you about Oklahoma history right now. In World War One, United States, in both wars, by the way, only place that got touched was Hawaii, right? Our mainland never got touched by war, right? During World War One, people started farming because everybody was in a war, right? So people in Oklahoma were growing wheat. They are, There are plenty of wheats to grow, and they're making money over fist because they were selling these wheat to these world ravaged countries. So the wheat was just growing and growing, and they just and guess what happens when war ended? We couldn't. There was no need for wheat to grow. I mean that much, not that much. We had too much now, and because we had too much, things were getting cheap, dirt cheap, and people were getting poorer. People who were working the farms were no longer rich. Another thing that was happening in Oklahoma at the time, because they grew so much wheat, they ruined all the topsoils. They they there was no topsoil left by the time they grew all these wheat because they're making tons of money from selling these wheat, but now the land does not have a topsoil anymore. What happens when land do not have topsoils? Nothing can grow on it. No trees, no grass, no wheat, of course. But then what happens when there's no trees and no grass? Dust storm. Oklahoma went through dust storm, and when dust storm happened, what happens? People went hungry. Yeah, they still had plenty of food, but people went hungry because guess what? Some of these farmers start doing, not in just in Oklahoma, but Oklahoma was like that's why the word Okie comes from, by the way, because the farmers cannot farm anymore. People were out of jobs, so they will go to west, right? They will go to west to find a job. Well, Californians people did not like that. They didn't like all these Okie coming to their state, so they blockade them. They want to protect their border from these Okie coming in and taking their jobs, competing for their jobs. Yeah, no sharing. And yeah, among their own countrymen, they were blocked. See, this wasn't because there was a scarcity. It happened because we had too much. We didn't know what to do with the abundance. They actually threw away, I mean, they uh, burn wheats, kill cows, so the price will pick that back up. That was inhumane. United States was that was happening. Why the United States was that was happening? The other countries, like third world country, like back then even in Korea, were third world countries, and they were going hungry, real hungry, you know. And you 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 lose. We didn't know how to manage abundance. It wasn't about scarcity. Right now, we have plenty, yet people go hungry because it's scarcity is artificial. Class is artificial. Racial divide is artificial. Fame is artificial. Power is artificial. Intelligence is artificial. Just because you're wealthy don't make you intelligent. Just because you made millions and billions don't make you intelligent. It makes you lucky and it makes you a cheater because nowadays only way you can become a billionaire is to be cheating the system, and you forget why you make that money, why you make it, why harvest because you don't know what love is. You don't know what humanity is. We have become artificial beings. We don't know why we are growing food. We're growing food because we can eat, we can share those food. Uh, th- but we are stuck with this scarcity mode. We cannot share. No, it has to be ours. We have to take, take, take. It's time for us comic book readers to make a judgment call here. We have to. There are things in this comic book that could teach us about life, philosophy. It's not just for kids. Matter of fact, it's for all of us. Yeah. I treated that like a Bible, didn't I? Hey, hey, Ron, what's up? Yeah, yeah. The well, uh, I was telling Sleep the other day, the Virginia here is the Loudoun County here has the we have the biggest population of data centers in the whole world, and they're sucking up our water, they're sucking up our electricity. And if you go ahead and ask, if you have a chance to ask your government who has a priority to water, human or data center? What is their answer? Who should have priority to the water? Now, more and more farmlands are becoming mechanized, and big corporations are taking over, and no more farms that are run by mom and pop and their kids. And more and more things like this happen so that uh, that farmers have to rely on government to rescue them. What happens when government rescues farmers? I mean, how much of that is sustainable? How can it? How can government constantly rescue farmers, bankers? How long that's gonna go on? Uh, but meantime we lose competitions. We can. I mean, we we lose our farmland to big corporation, and yeah, and the corporation will use uh what robots, machines, not robots, machines to raise these things. But who for who, right? Who's it for? I mean, water to water these farms. Who has a priority on water? The data center that will produce these robots, AIs, machines, and why? How can they have a priority over human being? Because it's a national security, they say. But do we really want an AI? Do we really want an AI, human like AI? What I'm saying is that we didn't ask for those AI. They have been stealing from. Uh, they have been stealing from us, intelligence wise. They're stealing our writings. They're stealing our art, and then now they want to steal our water and power. And farm is secondary. Why? If with the advancement of AI and machineries, there's less and less need for human beings. You got to have that national war. Right? If you put that national up front, national security up front, then you're saying, yeah, now data center has a priority, not human being, because it's a national security issue. But that's artificial. There's no guarantee that these AI is going to become human like. And if it is like they're going to become human like, then you better dang sure you don't make this. Here's a suburb. This I personally don't think these things can be uh, smarter than human being or have our intelligence. But if they do, then we definitely need not make it because we don't know what motivation they would have. Imagine creating a being that's smarter than you. That's that's stupidest idea. You think you can control something smarter than you? Uh, what an arrogant idea that is. You think that their motivation will match yours? That somehow that you could control it? Oh yeah, you could unplug it. But if they're smarter, then they should figure that out too. And let's assume that you can control it. Let's assume these are machine become the conscious beings. Let's assume that happens. What are you gonna do? You're gonna capture them, control them and use them like a slave. You want to use that's what you're saying. We want to build these machines to think like human being, but we're going to control them. We're going to capture them in a box. Don't ever let them take us over. Don't ever give them freedom. Trap them and make them serve human being like a slave. The idea of that is evil. Idea of creating something so you can make an entity, being, human being, like device, and use it as a slave, control it, full control it. That idea itself is evil. Why is that? Why is that? Why would that be legal? I- AI is not. I don't believe it. But the idea of creating a artificial intelligence that thinks smarter than human being is, and calling that a national security issue is crazy. If it's a national, if someone could create that, then they should be illegal. Period. I mean, but uh, but it's not about that, is it? It's about small group of people protecting that artificial scarcity. You know, that artificial fame, that artificial power. In truth, we the people have the power. We just need to wake up. We the people are sleeping right now. We are in sleep because we think somebody's going to come rescue us. We are asleep. But they have to protect this artificial scarcity, protect artificial power, protect artificial fame, artificial wealth. Yeah, even their wealth. I'm not much of a uh, backing your money on backing your dollar on a ball of gold, right? We used to have a Fort Knox that used to hold gold, and that's how we backed up the value of dollar. We don't do that anymore. Uh, Now, we don't want to admit it, but a lot of our values are artificial, like bitcoins. It's artificial. You know, one thing, uh, Bitcoin. There's one feature of a Bitcoin that I know is a feature. Bitcoin. It keeps ledger forever. You and I make an exchange, it keeps that ledger. The contract between you and I are in the is recorded. It's all it's that information is spread out throughout the network, so you will never get lost. And people supposedly you cannot hack into that. Now, e- even if people cannot hack into it, and it works wonderfully. Thing is, it has to keep on saving this information as the population grow, as the people start doing more business together. That database just keeps on growing, and the database You guys saw those fungibles where you could buy comic book, moving comic books, movies, whatnot, and you could have it, you could own it, NFT, whatever. Those information has to be kept track, not only on one device, but throughout the whole network. And the requirement for growth to keep that on your on the hard drive throughout the, you see why these they are looking for data centers. These data center has to be cooled, secure from damage, vandalism. They have to be you soak up water. They're so demanding, and it's that's the what our money is in. It's artificial. Everything is artificial. The diamond, right now, the diamond, for instance. Let's say diamond. Diamonds are one of those scarcity of artificial scarcity. The thing is, we can make real diamonds. Oh, yeah, but it's not like a real diamonds that we dig. You know, many thousands of lives have been sacrificed. That's not. I mean, that's not same as our diamond. We have like a little flaws, that are natural. These are real diamonds. That's why you should pay $2,000 for this diamond ring for your wife. Uh, the thing about that concept, and they try to promote that. Uh, think about that concept of the value, having that value, that diamond value is artificial, because we could create real diamonds that are better, flawless. Oh, okay, we could even inject flaw in it if you want. We could design some flaw into it. So, so how can we devalue the diamond? And I know uh, people are saying, "Oh, the cancel culture nowadays." Yes, we could cancel them. We could not. We don't have to buy the diamond. We could buy the zirconiums and be happy with that. You see, because the diamond scarcity is fake, is artificial. So we don't have to buy into diamond being valuable. We don't have to buy that. See, it's artificial. The things they say, oh, this is valuable. No, all is we say no, it is not valuable, and it is no longer valuable. We have the power. We are the one who need to wake up, but we are sleeping. We are occupied. We have the power. The power they have is artificial. These these 5% of our finance, world finance, is controlled by these 5%, that they say. And so 95% of their 5% has nine. The idea. All we have to do is say no. That's not worth that much. We don't need artificial AI. We don't need a data centers. We don't need to give up our water, our air, but we need to wake up because because if there's no humanity, what they want is a place where there's no humanity. If I know these rich folks are creating bunkers, bunker islands, and things like that to protect themselves from uh, the dystopian future, right? They're preparing for that. But what are they going to do? Create these AIs and control these AIs so it will serve them? You see how heartless they are? You see how that amount of wealth, the amount of gross wealth, where that they're disconnected from the rest of us. Rest of us are not human beings to them. Rest of us are something to be taken care of, like a bug. But we need to wake up. It's all artificial. Do I have time for little? I got a little carried away, didn't I? You think they're gonna block my video? Oh, I thought I was gonna do this, but my mind is not in it. Anyway, let me see if I have a. What was I gonna do? Yeah. Billy, 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 you arrogant fool. I know. What, the video was made 7 years ago, 10 years ago? But I tell you what, if your mind is full of arrogant thoughts, then there is no room for progress. No matter how much your age should have matured you. These comic books, written back in 1950s, 1930s, they have stories, arts that tell stories that are relevant today. There are lessons to be learned. There are things to ponder on. I will show you a couple stories written by
This is where I'm gonna show this. Supposedly, I'm gonna show this
and drawn by
video where.
Joe Orlando.
Anyway, I was supposed to make a video about this, but I don't. I was gonna work out how am I gonna make this video, but I'm gonna be all emotional to make this video. Uh, hey, I'm gonna go. Um, thanks for hey Blake. Thanks for coming by, buddy. Ron, nice to see you, bud. Nostalgic, Pop Blast, good seeing you, old man. Hey, Loquin, Brian, K-pop, uh, K- K-pop. Thanks for coming by. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna cool down. Anyway, till next time. I'm out.